Do you know which single metric is the most important defining performance indicator for the future of your B2B business? It's actually a ratio, and it's not EBIT or operational efficiency. In fact, it's a ratio that most B2B owners don't even know how to calculate. Almost every B2B CEO we've consulted can tell you their earnings before tax, EBT, but most of them, especially those in B2B services, don't know their PLTV to CAC ratio, their profit-based customer lifetime value divided by their customer acquisition cost. This ratio is by far the most fundamental and meaningful number you can ever have to understand your business's health and potential, because it tells you how much lifetime profit you generate for every dollar you spend to acquire a customer. What is this number? Here's an example. You run a financial consulting firm and you work with 20 clients. You send each of them one invoice per month. When you look at the total billed amount across all clients, you now discover that your typical average invoice is $2,000. This is now your average monthly revenue per client. Next, you subtract the variable cost per client. This is your direct cost you incur to actually serve them. In a consulting business, this means usually taking your payroll cost, that is consultant salaries and your own time, and dividing them by the number of clients. Don't forget to also include any other monthly delivery costs such as project-specific travel, software licenses, or physical materials used for client work, for example, training materials. Your revenue minus the direct cost of service gives you your monthly gross profit per client. You just need to multiply that number by the average client lifespan in months. Now you have your profit-based customer lifetime value, PLTV. It tells you exactly how much lifetime profit you generate for one average client over the entire time span you are serving this client. The only thing you need to do now is divide this number, the PLTV, by the cost to acquire a new client. Take the last 6 months and add it all up. What in those last 6 months did you spend for salaries, for sales staff, also part-time? And did you have fees for any external business development? What about external agency fees or freelancers? Don't forget marketing spending for paid ads, such as your Google or LinkedIn ads, the cost for client events, networking dinners, or sponsorships. You're almost there, and most owners would stop here. But you should also add the cost for the hours that C-level and owners have spent on selling or pitching. However, this sum stands for the last 6 months. The question is now, how many clients did you get in this time? Take this number of clients, let's say 3, and divide that cost amount by those 3 new clients that you can attribute to the 6 months time span. And this is now your CAC, your cost to acquire a new client. Your business depends on this ratio, your profit-based lifetime value per client divided by your cost to acquire one new client. This shows you the dollar amount that you can make over the time that you are working with one typical client for each single dollar that you had to spend to get this very client. Let's take a simple example. If you are reaching $20,000 profit for a typical client over the entire time of the client relationship, divided by $5,000 cost to acquire one, that would equal 4. This means that you're earning each dollar 4 times back that you had originally spent on acquiring your client. A very nice ratio. Here are 3 things that this ratio cannot do for you. PLTV to CAC ratio is not a measure of your current cash flow or near-term profitability. Business owners often see a strong ratio, for example 5:1, and think they are highly profitable right now. But PLTV is a lifetime projection and does not reflect your bank balance. You could have a fantastic ratio while bleeding cash for 12 or more months, waiting to get your acquisition cost back. Or simpler, the ratio tells you nothing about payback period or your short-term liquidity. Your liquidity is one of the most critical factors for your actual survival, and you must monitor it separately at each week. The second misunderstanding: you cannot automatically assume your business is scalable at 10x. A high P2C ratio doesn't mean you can acquire unlimited customers at the same cost. Many B2B owners mistakenly think our ratio is 6:1, so we should pour money into sales. No, the ratio is not taking market saturation into account. So check your market size, check market saturation, and test how much your CAC is rising if you start to put more money into sales. The third misunderstanding: a high P2C ratio, for example 5, is often mistakenly believed to mean the entire company is extremely healthy. The ratio does not account for massive fixed costs like research and development, product development, or general overhead. You could have a 5:1 P2C ratio, but if your R&D costs are through the roof, the company could still be losing money overall. I've said this in the past, and here it is again: your fixed cost should always be as low as humanly possible. I'm afraid prestige-hungry owners with huge offices and huge rents are not typically the ones who will make it in the long run. When is a single P2C ratio not enough? When your customer base is diverse, one healthy-looking P2C ratio can fool you. It can even be dangerous. Why? A single P2C can hide the truth. A few great clients with a high P2C can cover up many mediocre clients with a low or even negative P2C. These clients quietly drain your cash. The solution is simple: stop using one blended average. Start calculating P2C by groups. Many people call this segmentation of P2C. Here's how you do it. Your goal is to divide customers into groups based on traits that influence their value and their acquisition cost. What you need to do is calculate one PLTV for each group and one CAC, the cost to acquire these customers, for each group. This will give you one specific PLTV to CAC ratio for each group. Option 1: group clients by acquisition channel. The cost to acquire a client changes a lot depending on where they came from. So we create Group 1, organic or referral, people who found you through word of mouth, SEO, or direct recommendations. Group 2, paid ads, people who clicked through a Facebook or Google campaign. And group number 3, sales team or events. That is people you acquired through a high-touch process like trade shows, cold calls, or product demos. What this reveals: you may see that your paid ads group has a strong P2C of, let's say, 4, but your sales team group has a weak P2C of 1.5 because commissions and travel costs are too high. What can you do here? You know right away that you have to either reduce spending in the sales team channel and invest more in paid ads, or you change the offer or the bundle that your sales team uses so you can attract a different kind of customer through that channel. The alternative: group clients by profile or size. This is the fastest way to see who are great clients versus who are the less profitable ones. This is how you can group them. Focus on traits that have a big impact on profit. Example: your group A consists of small businesses, 1 to 5 employees, or spending below a threshold like under $900 per month. Group B, mid-market, 5 to 50 employees, or spending in your mid-tier range. And Group C would be enterprise, your large clients. They spend the most and usually drive the most of your profit. And you might discover that the enterprise group, Group C, has a P2C ratio of 10. These are your truly profitable clients. But Group A has a P2C ratio of 0.8 to 1. That means that you lose money on every small client you acquire. The great clients are covering the losses. It's actually not uncommon for B2B service companies to see that 2 very large clients generate almost all of the profit, and 9 others barely move the needle. This also means you might be dependent on those 2 clients. They can make or break your future. And here is a bonus tip. group clients by the time period you acquired them. This is called cohort analysis. A cohort is simply customers who joined in the same quarter. This helps you see if your P2C ratio assumptions still hold over time. You might have calculated an overall P2C of, let's say, 3:1 last year. But when you check the same quarter this year, you might see the ratio dropping. This can happen because customers churn faster, or because your business is large and you or the competitors are starting to saturate your market. In any case, this is an early warning sign. Something changed for your newer customers. Maybe your sales pitch has changed. Maybe a competitor launched something. When you calculate P2C for different groups, you stop relying on a misleading average. Instead, you're creating a profit map of your business. This is how you avoid depending on a handful of clients and how you catch early signals if your market starts shifting.